The following program is a Town of Colonie television production of the William K. Sanford Town Library.
Welcome. I'm Mary Rozak, the Director of Communications for Albany County, and you're watching Albany County News. Over the next 30 minutes, I certainly hope you're going to find the program very interesting as we lead a discussion about the Albany County Hall of Records, the Albany County Clerk's Office, how they serve you, what it is they do, all of that and more. And joining me is Albany County Clerk Bruce Hidley. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's an honor and pleasure to be here with you today.
Well, it's so good to be here and able to talk about all the great things that your office does, because I don't think people realize the services you provide.
That's a true answer. You'd be surprised how many people say, "What do you do in the Albany County Clerk's Office?"
Well, let's start by saying, what do you do in the Clerk's Office?
Well, actually, we have two agencies involved with the Albany County Clerk's Office, which you just mentioned. One is the actual Albany County Clerk's Office on 16 Eagle Street, and the second is the Albany County Hall of Records, which is located on 95 Tivoli Street in Albany also. Both of those are under the auspices of the Albany County Clerk, but they both do totally different items for Albany County. Mm-hmm. Now, the Albany County Clerk's Office generates somewhere between $26 to $30 million a year in revenue.
Wow. How do you do that?
Mortgages, deeds, title searches. There's a whole variety. Income from pistol permits, income from doing business in DBAs, a whole laundry list of ways that we generate revenue in the county. Most of it, though, is through mortgages and deeds. Okay.
Well, so talk to me about that. I mean, I'm a homeowner in Albany County, correct, and what is it that I have a mortgage? What is it that I would need to know about getting? Is it a copy of my deed or my mortgage, or what is it?
Normally, when a customer comes in, they have a need for a certified copy of their deed or mortgage, because either they're going to prepare to sell their property, or they need it for some specific financial reason, whether they're refinancing or whatever the scenario might be. So they come into our office, and you can actually go back to 1980 on my website. Mm-hmm. And you can actually view the deeds and mortgages online. Anything prior to that, you do have to come to my office in order to research that information. It's a very, very great tool that we have, and we are working to upgrade that system also at the same time, so that we could do a lot more with our website. Right now, you can get RP 5217s on my website, which helps you.
What is that? That's a foreign language. What is that?
That's a form that you use when you purchase your home.
Okay.
And it has to be filed with the Albany County Clerk's Office, and then I file it with the Albany County Real Property Tax Service, who then sends it off to the municipalities in Albany County when a new home is purchased. Okay.
So I would have thought if I needed something with my mortgage, I would just go to my bank. So I have an alternate route,
yes, you do,
so to speak.
And a lot of people use that alternate route. We have people, sometimes it's just to research who owned the property prior to them. People come back and take a look. We have the records up, I want to say, into the 1600s for deeds and mortgages for Albany County.
Wow.
And it's very interesting to see people come in and do that research to see who used to own their property.
So what do you need? You just need your address?
Your address, and then if you have a book and page number, that helps us also, because that can direct us right to where to go for you. But if you don't have that, that's what we have my staff for.
Okay, and we say book and page number. You're talking to not a fifth grader, you're talking to a kindergartner on this one. What is the book and page number?
A book and page number is assigned once a deed has gone through your mortgage or your bank. They come to us, we assign it a book and a page number, and then it goes right directly into these books that we have. But now we scan them and put them right onto the system, so when you go on the website, you can see them automatically.
Wow. So you said 1980 and to the present, you can do the research.
You do it right online.
Online. That's very convenient.
And I'm going to tell you something.
Sure.
Today is the first opportunity that I've had to announce this, okay? And I'm very proud that I can do it with you. We have a new vendor, IQS. who is going to be taking over the Albany County Clerk system.
Okay.
We're going to be working very closely with IQS to get even more information on our website for people to get to. We're even going to look to sell our subscriptions online so that an attorney or a mortgage person doesn't even have to come to the Albany County Clerk's office to get that information. They'll be able to do it right at home. So right now we're in the middle of a huge transition in the Albany County Clerk's office. And that was one of the things that I had looked into when I first took over, was technology. How can I make the office run better?
Okay.
And this is one way. We were in a consortium with Delaware, Greene, and Schoharie County for 14 years. Unfortunately, the tech people in Schoharie County retired, and they didn't actually hire anybody back until just recently, and it kind of put us behind the 8 ball a little bit when it came to technology.
Sure.
Well, now, thanks to the Albany County Legislature, who has approved my contract with IQS, we are going to move into the 21st century of electronic management of our county clerk records, and we're going to see a lot of more and new, exciting things coming in September.
Great.
And we're very excited about it. The staff is excited about it. The IT department from Albany County is working with IQS right now so that we can get all these cloud issues taken care of with storing the records.
Sure.
But I think
it's got to be a monstrous amount of data.
Huge. Yeah, it's huge. And IQS, it's going to take them a good 2 months, which is why September is our goal to get everything out there and ongoing. We'll have to retrain the entire staff. Court records are involved with this, land records are involved with this, e-filing, e-recording, which we do not do right now. These are all the things that are going to be involved with this new system that we are putting in place. Now, one of the things that I consistently hear from the residents of Albany County is, how come when I get my pistol permit, I get it in a paper product?
Okay.
Well, this new system from IQS is now going to allow me to do plastic pistol permit cards and amendments when they come in now.
Really?
Really exciting news for Albany County. They haven't had it yet. We will when this new system comes into place.
Wow. Well, that is exciting. And I don't want to rain on your parade. I think it's great. But there are going to be those out there who are going to say, technology is wonderful, but in the world of identity theft, that information, how do you protect the information that someone going online really shouldn't have access to?
Correct.
How do you do that?
Actually, that's at a higher level than myself. The IQS staff and Perry Blanchard from the IT department of Albany County actually are working together very closely on keeping the confidential records out of the hands of people that shouldn't have them. So that's a good point, and I'm glad you brought that up, because the public should know that their records are confidential and that we will keep them, out of the hands of people that shouldn't have them.
Sure.
And we're working very closely together on that operation.
Good, yeah, because I can only imagine, I'm guessing that, on my mortgage, somewhere along the line must be my social security number somewhere. So that's why I'm thinking.
Well, we redact as much information as we can. We do. That's not something that's going to hit the general public, especially social security numbers. Oh my,
sure.
That's taboo.
Okay, so good. So
redaction is a big word.
We breathe a collective sigh of relief. But congratulations, that's wonderful.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. It took a while. It took us probably a year and a couple of months to get this done, between going out for an RFP. We had seven vendors respond. We had to do a scoring system in order to decide which vendor was best for Albany County. My staff and myself took a ride to Saratoga County. We visited with Craig Hayward's staff up there, and then we went over to Rensselaer County and visited with Frank Marola's staff over there, who both had different systems that we were looking at. And when the bottom line came through, we felt that for the betterment of Albany County, that IQS was the vendor for us. And thank God that the Albany County Legislature felt the same way, and we were able to sign the contract with them and get things moving.
You mentioned Frank Marola, and probably the name resonates with some folks because of the SAFE Act and because of a stance he's taken. You mentioned pistol permits. How did the SAFE Act impact, or did it impact at all?
Well, Albany County, along with 2 other counties in the state of New York, were going to be a part of a pilot program that Governor Cuomo wanted to put into place. we've been working with Lieutenant Sherman in the New York State Police Department and the IT staff of the governor's office, but that pilot program never came to fruition for some reason, and not because we did anything in Albany County, but it just, and if they come back knocking at the door and wanting to do it again, I'm certainly going to participate in it. It's a voluntary program, by the way, this pilot program. It's not mandatory. You don't have to, what it's going to do is in 2018, the SAFE Act says that everybody's going to have to certify their guns.
Okay.
So if we participate in a pilot program now, let's say in 2016 the governor's office is ready to roll that out, we will be able to tell the residents, you can certify it now, and then you don't have to worry about it in 2018. It'll be done for 5 years.
Okay.
And it was our hope in Albany County that we'd be able to assist the governor's office with that program to pull out all the kinks. If there was any problems in advance of them implementing that program, we would be able to work that out with them.
Okay. What has been the feedback you've had from the general population?
Well, the general population is not happy with the SAFE Act, let's face it. But, as the Albany County Clerk, I do what the law mandates. And right now the SAFE Act is in place, and there are certain mandates that the SAFE Act has put in place that I must follow. And whether the constituency likes it or not, I don't make those laws, I just follow them.
Have you seen an increase or a decrease in people looking for permits?
Oh, Albany County, I think it's averaged at about the same that it has when I took over in 2014. There's not that much of a change. I think the more exciting part now is that the fact that people are going to get the plastic cards.
Okay, and I would imagine it's because they're more durable, and that's why people
yes, we're going to be able to get a lot more information on them. Their picture will be on there. There will be a thumbprint on there. There's going to be a lot of good, and you know what it's like when you put something in your wallet for 10 or 15 years, it's bound to deteriorate, and then you have to come in and get another. Well, these plastic cards, they'll last forever.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you put a grocery store receipt in your wallet,
exactly.
and it disintegrates. I don't even know what the process is if I am not a gun owner.
Okay.
What is the process if someone is interested in?
We have on the Albany County website, there is a link that you can go to actually get a pistol permit application. Okay. Once you get that pistol permit application, obviously you have to fill it out. You have to get references for yourself. Then, depending upon where you live, some municipalities do it, some don't. The municipalities that don't do background checks go to Sheriff Craig Apple's office.
Okay.
And he does the background check. For municipalities that do them, they take the application, do the background check, give it back to the applicant. The applicant then comes back into my office and files that application with us, whether it's an amendment or whether it's a new permit. That, then my staff, they have a way of putting it on a computer where they document when it came, who it came from, they put a pistol permit number on it, and then we give it to the Supreme Court. And they have 9 judges right now that are overseeing the application process where they either approve it or disapprove it. Usually what happens if it's a new one, the judge will want to see the applicant in person, or if they want to get a concealed permit, they'll want to talk to the individual and say, hey, why do you really need a concealed permit? I had one Albany County resident who happened to own a restaurant, and he wanted a concealed permit. So we went through the whole process and we got it to the judge, and the judge called him in and talked to him, and then an administrative decision is made as to whether or not that individual can have a concealed permit or not. And Albany County just does not give out concealed permits. They're very careful and cautious on who they give concealed permits to.
Certainly. So, but the response from that gentleman or lady was understandable?
Positive. Oh yeah. Yep. Very much.
So now we know, okay, mortgages, deeds, pistol permits, what else?
Well, I'm also, believe it or not, I'm the Supreme Court clerk.
Okay, which means?
Which means I oversee the records for the Supreme Court and the county court systems. Okay. All those records are turned over to our office. Now we scan everything in, and with this new system I was just telling you about, we're even going to go further with our scanning process to get things so that go green. Let's face it,
Sure.
we're doing our best to go paperless here.
So we're talking civil and criminal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that come through the Supreme and county court systems.
That's got to be a huge,
It's
huge volume.
I've walked into the back and my deputy county clerk, Marlene Dion, is the deputy. She handles all the court records. And I've gone back there, Mary, and I've seen 10 boxes for just one case alone that come into the office that we have to scan all that in and get it over. And this is where the Albany County Hall of Records comes into play. We hold the records in our office for 8 years.
Okay.
And then we ship them over to the Albany County Hall of Records for them to store. The Albany County Hall of Records, I got to tell you, it's the gem of Albany County. I hate to switch gears so quickly on you, but you know, that's where all the records are stored for the Supreme and county court systems once they come into our office. Once we identify them, label them, give them a docket number, then it goes over to the Albany County Hall of Records for storage.
Okay. We are talking, as a reminder, with Albany County Clerk Bruce Hidley. Now we're talking a little bit about the Hall of Records. So, okay, so I go online, let's say I wanted to find something out and it was before 1980. It's past the 8 years. I'm not going to come down now to the clerk's office, right? Would I go directly to the Hall of Records to find information?
No.
How does that work?
When you want to get a request for a deed or a mortgage that's stored in the Albany County Hall of Records, you do have to come down to the clerk's office. We then send the request to them. We have a courier who comes back and forth to the office who brings those records to us on a daily basis. It doesn't take any more than 24 hours for us to get the record. It's very fast and very convenient.
So the Hall of Records, though, is open to the public, am I correct?
Yes, it is.
So what circumstance would I go to Tivoli Street to visit?
Genealogy.
Okay.
You want to find out a little bit about your history of your family.
Okay.
We have nearly 1,000 people that travel through the Albany County Hall of Records that are researching family. We have books dating back to the 1600s where you can go back to and take a look and see where your family lived at a particular place.
Wow.
We are the only joint county and city records management program in the state of New York. We have a very close working relationship with the city of Albany.
Okay.
Our Hall of Records stores 106,000 cubic foot of records, and we are at capacity right now.
So what are you going to do?
Well, last year I went to the Albany County Legislature once again, and I requested a $1.85 million bond to expand the Albany County Hall of Records. Now, County Executive McCoy, Majority Leader Camiso, and myself, we went and took a look at sites in Albany County that maybe we could. We've been in the Hall of Records have been 3 spots already since its existence. Now we were looking maybe to a 4th site. Well, we found financially and for taxpayers of Albany County, it would be more feasible for us to bond that $1.85 million and build right on the existing location where it is.
Okay.
Now, what that's going to do is that's going to allow me a whole lot of new features. Number one, the building will allow tractor trailers to pull right into the building, where now my laborers have to take the boxes and bring them down to trucks.
Okay.
They'll be able to take pallet trucks and just pull them into the trucks now. It's going to give us a new security base. We're going to put new cameras. It's going to allow 60,000 cubic foot more space for us to store records.
But with all the records that are coming in, I mean, is that even, how long will that be good for?
Well, that's where electronic management's coming into play.
Right.
We're going to be applying the Local Government Records Management Improvement Fund, which gets their funding through the county clerk's offices in the state of New York. We're in 2016, we're going to apply for an electronic records management grant that may assist us with paperless products, where the agencies will be able to scan those records and then send us the scanned copy instead of the full paper document.
Okay.
Now you have to understand there are we follow what's called a records retention schedule at the Albany County Hall of Records. There are documents that have to be kept permanently that we can never destroy. There are certain documents that have to be kept for 25 years. There are certain documents that are kept for 8 years. You know, they all have a retention schedule on how long they need to be kept.
Give me an example of something that would be kept for like 25
Payroll
years.
records.
Payroll records?
Permanent.
Really?
Yes. We have, believe it or not, we constantly have people that work for the state of New York that are looking for time that they worked as summer seasonal employees in like the 60s and 70s.
Ah, okay, for the retirement system.
Yes, they get
Gotcha.
credit.
Got you.
And we have those records. And if we didn't have those records, they would never have been able to get the time back for retirement purposes.
That's got to be a bear, though, going, I mean,
I
can't
have
even
a
imagine.
great staff at the Albany County Hall of Records. They're dedicated, they love their jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and they do a tremendous job for the people that come in and do the research. Now, as you know, for African American Month in February, we do a display.
Yep.
The staff comes over, they find what we have in the Hall of Records, and they do a nice display,
Sure.
which is kept up for the month. Irish, during March, we do the same thing for the Irish citizens in Albany County. And most recently, the Albany Port Authority Commission just celebrated their anniversary.
Okay.
And Tony Vazel, the director of the Albany Port District Commission, called me up and said, you know, I'd like to know exactly what you may have stored in the Albany County Hall of Records for the Albany Port. I said, okay. So I called my staff in. I said, here's what we're looking to do. Tony and Jane McNally came to the office, and we had the whole floor was set up with just Albany
Wow.
Port District Commission items that we have. And we ended up, Tony came back and he made a decision on what he wanted to see displayed. We made a nice PowerPoint presentation for the day also, where people could come in and just sit and watch and see exactly what we have. So there is just so much.
Well, it sounds like it. Let me ask you, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but how do you keep some of those very precious, very
Just
old
about to tell you about
Were you
that.
telling me? Okay, how do you
Yes.
do that?
We actually have a building within a building. This particular building, and I'm not sure the cubic foot space of it, but it has a special humidifying system inside there. We have the original Donegan Charter from the city of Albany stored in there.
And I have seen that. I have been there, and it is fascinating to see that.
It is. We have the Dutch records from the 1600s that are stored in there. We have the Bertillon files, which is the old Albany County Correctional Facility
Oh, really?
photos from people that were incarcerated back in the
Oh,
early
wow.
1800s.
Wow.
We have just the manumission of slaves is stored in there. And that was when, years ago, owners of slaves signed off that they were free. And we have that document is also stored in that humidified area, and it's a very special room.
Sure. So access, I'm sure, is not. It's not to the general public.
It is
right?
not, unless we have a tour, which we do. Most recently, we just had the Rochester School of the Deaf into the Albany County Hall of Records, and then we open that up so that they can see exactly what they're. And if there's sometimes there's a special request, and you know, I've always had an open door policy of government as the Albany County Clerk, and I'm going to continue to do that. So if somebody needs something or they want something, I'm going to bend over backwards to make sure that that's done for them.
Well, let's talk about, we're talking with Albany County Clerk Bruce Hidley. Let's talk about then, someone wants to come in, let's say, and trace their genealogy.
Yes.
There are very old documents. What does it look like? What can they have access to? What are they touching? What are they being able to write? What can they photograph?
Well, essentially what the person will do is they come into the office and they tell either Jill or Eric, who are our greeters there, that they're looking to do a genealogy. So the first thing they'll say is, well, what are you looking for? And they'll tell us, you know, I'm looking for my information on my great-great-grandfather from back in 1700 who lived in the city of Albany. So what they'll do is they'll go get the books for them, and they will actually pull out the stuff and put it on the desks there for them to research and review. Can't take it away. It's got to stay right there. And we're very cautious about that.
Sure.
All those documents, unless there's an Albany County Hall of Records staff member there, are not allowed out of the building.
Sure, but even touching them, even having a pen, you know how mistakes, accidents happen. I'd be nervous.
Well, you know what? We have a lot of stuff on microfilm too.
Okay.
So what they do is they use the microfilm units instead of the original documents.
Okay.
Because obviously what we need to do is preserve those original documents to the best of our ability. And that's where that local government records management improvement fund comes into play. We actually were able to microfilm all the old Dutch records so that we don't have to touch the original copies.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So the originals are kept, I'm assuming, in that
In that
special
vault,
that
yeah.
special vault.
And if we can't find something, we go out of our way to try and help them find where they need to go to get the records that they're looking for. But the majority of the time, we've had some very famous people do some research in the
All right,
Albany County Hall Records.
so tell me about it.
New York State Assemblyman Jack McEnany is one of them.
Okay.
Paul Grondell,
Okay.
William Kennedy.
Sure.
All gentlemen have done research for their books right at the Albany County Hall Records. And currently, and I'm sure that you remember this, the South Mall.
Yes.
Okay, the South Mall will be celebrating its 50th anniversary, which is not called the South Mall anymore.
Right.
One of the University of Albany professors is in the Albany County Hall Records right now doing the research to assist with that 50th anniversary.
Wow. So that's exciting. So there's space actually for folks to come in?
Yes, there is.
For long-term research
Yes, there
like
is.
that?
And you know what, Mary, I encourage, I've had students from St. Rose, from the University of Albany, as interns to come in and do what they need to do to get credit for college. I encourage any of those, and I've had high school students come in and intern for us. And that's one of the open government things that I enjoy doing. I enjoy helping students as much as I can to assist with their educations in any way possible. So when the University of Albany calls me or St. Rose calls me or any of the schools, I welcome them with open arms.
Well, that's wonderful. Let's talk a little bit more about something that I don't know. Marriage, divorce, birth, death certificate. What do you do? What are the misconceptions?
That is one of the biggest misconceptions that we have. We actually do not do marriage, birth records. Those records are handled by the local municipalities that they have their own vital statistics registrars. But we do have divorce records.
Okay.
That is kept on file in the Albany County Clerk's office.
Now that's weird. So you would have record of someone dissolving a marriage.
Well, because it comes through the court.
Okay, good point. All right, now it makes sense.
Yeah, it comes through the court.
Okay.
Whenever we get a call for a vital statistics question, my staff will usually give them the name and number for the local vital statistics registrar that might handle that. But that is a huge misconception that people think that we are in charge of all those records, because we are not. But when somebody needs a divorce record because they're going to get remarried or something like that, then they come to my office and we certify the copy.
Okay, so that's something you cannot do online.
No,
because you get it certified. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you can do online versus what you can't, and what some of the costs may be with that.
One of the biggest things is FOIL requests, Freedom of Information Law requests.
Okay.
Albany County generates probably 700 or 800 FOIL requests a year. When I took over, one of the things that I made sure of was that on the Albany County website that you could go and print off the FOIL request form and submit it electronically to the office.
I don't think people realize that much of the information, because it's government, much of the information is available to them. They need to know, however, what it is they need to ask for and who to go to, right?
That's correct.
And not go to the specific departments, to go to you.
That's correct, and that happens quite often, where they redirect the person that wants the FOIL request to my office. They've submitted it to another office, and then they send it back saying this is not from, you cannot direct this to me, you need to send it to the Albany County Clerk. So if there is a message out there for anybody that needs a FOIL request, and again, that's Freedom of Information Law.
Sure.
Please send it to the Albany County Clerk's office.
As the Director of Communications, I can say, as I hit my microphone, didn't mean to do that, sorry to everyone's ears out there. I can honestly say that people are calling me and I'm directing them to you.
Correct.
Quite frequently.
And a lot of the FOIL requests come from inmates that are looking for prison information or backgrounds on what happened in their court cases. A lot of them are checking land for oil spills. Maybe they want to develop that land, so they need to find out, what Albany County did preventive-wise through the health department. Some of the other requests that come in are just general questions about what happens in Albany County government.
Okay.
So we do about 700 of those.
Wow.
And although this new system that I have in place does not doesn't actually do anything about helping me out with FOIL requests. I am looking out there for ways to make it easier for the public to do a FOIL request, and I will figure a way out some point in time.
And FOIL requests, to make the request is free. Depending on the documentation required, there may be a charge.
There is a fee charge. It's 25 cents per page. And then if a lot of people ask for it electronically, on discs and things like that. So once we figure out how much the disc costs to manufacture, then we just tell them how much it is.
Okay. As we wrap up very quickly, what is if someone is looking for mortgage or deed information, they can get that online. What does it cost or something like that, though?
Well, if they're just looking it up online, it's free. If they're coming in for a certified copy, then there is a fee. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And all of this available on albanycounty.com?
That's correct.
Perfect. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mary. It's been a pleasure to be here with you today.
Wonderful. We've been talking today with Albany County Clerk Bruce Hidley. I'm Mary Rozak, Director of Communications for Albany County, and hope this has been informative to you. You've been watching Albany County News. We'll see you again soon.